The next time you're at Dollar Tree, grab some of these inexpensive artist canvases. I'm going to show you how to take them to a whole new level. Hi everyone, my name is Shannon and I want to welcome you here to my channel, The Daily DIYer. These are definitely one of my favorite things to get from the dollar store. They have so many different sizes to choose from. They're great quality, and they even have two different styles with the wood framed, more raised ones and also the flat ones. So it gives you so many possibilities for crafting and projects. And I have so many ideas to share with you, so let's get started right now. All right, so first up, we're gonna make a beautiful floating framed art piece. We need to grab a shadow box, also from the Dollar Tree. If you can't find the one I have, you can also look for one that has a little bit more of a chunky frame to it. Mine also came with ribbon, so I trimmed those off and then measured for the inside of my frame. We're gonna be adding some gold poster board as the background. It's gonna give it a really high-end look. So I transferred those measurements over onto the poster board and then cut it out. If you could pause for 1 second, hit that thumbs up button. That helps out my channel so much, and I would so much appreciate it. And now we need to attach that poster board onto the glass of our frame. So I'm using an adhesive tape runner to do that. I love using this for paper crafting because then there's no liquid adhesive to wrinkle our paper. So I will make sure to link that down below if you've never tried it. It's really nice and handy, and it's a clean, easy adhesive to apply, and it's permanent, so it will stay attached for us. That just gave our frame a beautiful metallic gold finish. And now we're gonna use a smaller sized canvas. This is one of the wooden frame canvases, the stretched ones. And I also found this rhinestone iron-on at Dollar Tree as well. So there was only one. I'm like, let's give it a try, right? I didn't know how great this would be, but it does have instructions on the back. So I read through those, made sure I knew what I was doing first. And basically what you do is you take your piece, which I'm adding a little bit of a towel behind the canvas to make sure I have something to press against. And then I am adding my design, kind of positioning it, moving it around, getting it where I wanted it. It's obviously bigger than my canvas, but that's kind of the neat part. It's gonna kind of hang off the side and look a little bit more custom that way. So what you do is you lay your design on your canvas. I like to put a flour sack towel over it, and then you can use an iron set on high for this. I'm using my mini heat press for this. I'll link that down below too. It's kind of a nice handy tool to have in your craft stash. You move it around for about 30 seconds in each spot. Once all of your rhinestones have adhered to your fabric, then you can peel off this clear plastic top and reveal your design. It is so pretty, and I love the way the rhinestones kind of glisten in the light. Now we're going to attach that canvas right onto the front of our frame using some hot glue, and this is going to just complete our piece, make it look like a really fancy high-end decorative frame for our decor. I was super impressed by the way this iron-on turned out. Actually, it looks really nice, and I will be keeping an eye out for more of these to create with in this new year. But you can take this concept, make your own custom art for display in a floating style like this one. Next up, we're gonna make a placemat out of the 11 by 14 inch size flat artist canvases. So you can see here, we're just going to basically put a coat of paint on this that's going to seal in our canvas fabric. I'm using a chalk paint in the color plaster for this, but you get creative. Make your placemat match your own home's decor. I'm going to be adding some simple stripes to my placemat using this thinner style painter's tape. I'll link it down below too. And this was sort of inspired by a Hearth and Hands doormat that was at Target that I really loved. So I'm actually giving these placemats that kind of look by just adding 2 stripes along the side and also along the bottom. So once that chalk paint was completely dry, you definitely want to seal this with something like Scotch Guard to protect the fabric. That way, when you use these underneath food or dinners or meals, you protect that finish. But such a pretty and simple little hack on these canvases. Next up, we're gonna make a beautiful window frame, and you're gonna need 9 of these canvases. I also want to give you a little bit of a tip and trick of how to remove the canvas fabric off of the wood framed canvases. You're gonna take a very sharp X-Acto knife and run it around all of the edges. I will make sure to link mine down in the description box. I love this one, super sharp, super handy, easy to change the blades out. And you just run that all the way around all 4 edges. And what we're gonna do is then that will loosen up the top so we can pull the top right off, save all of those top pieces because we're going to be using those here in a couple projects coming up. And then what you'll do is you'll be able to come in and remove all of the fabric left underneath the staples. Having some needle nose pliers on hand definitely helps to remove that little bit of extra fabric. And here's what our clean frame looks like. You're not going to see the backside with all the staples, so you don't have to worry about removing all of those. We are going to repeat this process 8 more times so that we have 9 frames total. And now we're going to use a combination of wood glue and hot glue to piece these frames all together. We're going to set these out 3 in a row and then 3 rows total. The wood glue is going to take a little longer to dry and set up, so that hot glue is going to dry faster for us so that we have some ability to work on our project while that wood glue dries and sets up. So I worked on attaching 3 frames side by side first, and then attaching the tops and bottoms of those frames to make one big piece. And to make sure these are extra sturdy and supported, we're adding some paint stir sticks around all of those cross-section points. I will make sure to link these paint stir sticks down in the description box below too. I usually get these from Amazon. They're great and handy to have for crafting. These are really pretty decorative wood pieces you can find at Hobby Lobby. The smaller ones come 2 in a pack for only $1.99. The bigger scrolly piece is $5.99, but you can get these on sale sometimes, so make sure to keep your eye out for that. This is what's going to take our piece from ordinary to gorgeous. It's gonna have a really pretty, almost Anthropology type vibe to it, so really a high-end look for a fraction of the price. I'm using a combination of hot glue and wood glue to add a decorative piece to each corner, and then that big scrolly piece right at the top in the middle. This is definitely one of my favorite DIYs that I've done in a long time. I'm loving the vibes of this. You could really take this to a whole new level, spray paint it gold or give it an antique-y look, add some photos to the frames, add some mirrors behind the frames, add a wreath to the middle, so you could really style this in a lot of different ways. I'm really loving this plain wood look lately, which you'll see in this video, so I'm leaving mine as is. Could not be more happy with the result. Now we're going to be using some of those scrap canvas pieces from our last project to make some beautiful wood art tiles. So also grab yourself some of these wood planks from Dollar Tree. They come 6 in a pack, or you could use some scrap wood if you have them laying around. Just cut them into square shapes and then go ahead and paint or stain the wood. Now grab out that extra canvas. We're gonna lay those tiles right on top of the canvas, trace around it, and we're gonna cut those down to size. Then we'll stack those pieces on top of each other and cut them down about another ½ inch to 1 inch or so. We're gonna do that so that we get a nice layered effect with our canvas and wood. And now for the fun part, adding our designs. I had these stencils from a Target Dollar Spot purchase maybe a year or so ago. So Dollar Tree carries stencils too that you can use, or you can get creative and use your own skills and talents to create your own designs, or even Mod Podge a design if you want. And just this is kind of a watercolor kind of fun thing. You just add water to your canvas, and then I had some watercolor markers that I filled in the stencils with, and then added a little bit more water on top of that to kind of help spread and smear the ink, and got a really pretty cool design. And now we can attach our art onto the front of those wood tiles. We're going to use a unique item to attach them. They are thumbtacks from Dollar Tree. It helps to have some needle nose pliers to help hold them in place while you hammer them down. But definitely make sure to have a piece of scrap wood behind them. These tiles really aren't that thick, so they go right through it. Once you get a few in place, then you can flip it over and hammer down those points that have gone through the wood. And then you'll do that on all 4 corners. I still had lots of leftover canvas, so we're going to turn it into a garland with the help of this wooden heart, which is also from Dollar Tree. We're going to use it as a template again, just tracing around it onto the canvas and cutting out those heart shapes. I have a big Valentine's Day video coming out next week, so make sure to subscribe so you can come back and not miss that. But you can also cut these into whatever shape you want, ones that maybe would last year round too. We're going to watercolor these again and give each heart a different shade of pink or red to kind of give them a ombre style look when we're done with them. So you just add water, add some more ink from your watercolor markers, and then some more water on top of that to blend them out. Then once the canvas is dry, I just used a big needle, some jute, and made my own kind of pattern with wood beads and those canvas hearts to create a really pretty and kind of neutral, natural looking garland. Now we're going to make some hanging canvas art. You can use one of these flat canvases from Dollar Tree if you want, but since I still had so much extra canvas left over, I'm going to use one of those for this project, and it'll kind of hang a little bit more loosely too, which is kind of neat. What we're going to do is cut around all of the folded over edges to give us more of a clean edge. And then we're going to use some paint stir sticks like we did with the window art piece and use those for the top and the bottom. However, these are a little bit too long, so I did flip my piece over, kind of measured over, added an extra inch. So that way the sticks would hang over a little bit on each side. I'm going to cut both of those down using my handsaw and miter box. This is another staple piece in my craft stash. I'll make sure to link it down below too. Super easy to just cut through thin wood like this. I had all of my water, paint, and color supplies out, so I'm just keeping with that theme. Have another stencil here. Made sure my canvas was nice and saturated and just used some different tones of green to paint in those stenciled areas. You'll want to let this dry completely. A heat gun or a hairdryer helps speed up that process. And then I came in with a gel pen and just kind of added a little bit more design and detail to this before then gluing on those paint stir sticks to the top and the bottom and some string to the back corners to hang. Yep, this next one you're gonna need wax paper, and yes, you can also find this at Dollar Tree too. We're gonna make a lantern using some of this here shortly, but first we need to take 4 smaller sized canvases, and again we're gonna remove that fabric off of the frames just like we did with the window project. And here are our 4 frames ready to go. Now we can add our wax paper to these. We're gonna flip them over so that the pretty side is facing up, and you're gonna add glue onto the back sides of these where there are staples and set that down onto the wax paper. Then you'll come in with an X-Acto knife and you'll cut around them. Now we're going to attach these together into sort of a box or a cube shape, just hot gluing up one side, placing the first one down, and then attaching them one at a time to create that lantern shape. So you can see here I'm adding mine to a little console table, but they would be so pretty other places too. And yes, even Dollar Tree carries these pillar candles that are battery operated. I'm just setting that right down inside my lantern here, and they are so pretty during the daytime. These would be great on a coffee table, in an entryway, even in the middle of your dining room table. But they are so pretty at nighttime too. That wax paper really kind of softens the glow and gives it a nice, beautiful effect. Another way to utilize this idea is also to use them as a planter. So just another idea for you to try out. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new, and I'll have more inspirational videos popping up on your screen you can click on and watch next. Thanks so much again, and I will see you in the next one.